Next in 19 after sunset. Zero soul. 3 minutes, 55 seconds.
All right. We're going to get started momentarily. That's right. Momentarily. We're going to start.
Welcome to Grown Folk Talking. Express yourself. The podcast will begin momentarily. Muted. Please enter your PIN. Thank you. Unmuted.
It's already here. I'm going to tell you what you need to be able to use it and not lose it. Because you need to know. That's right. You need to know so you can grow. Tonight, we unpack it for you just the way you need it. That's right. Because it's extra. Once again, Xtra-Hype Connection. Tap in. Welcome to the podcast. Friday night. Cool talk. Xtra-Hype Connection. Grown folks talking. Express yourself. Express podcast. Make sure you catch Grown Folks Talking on Facebook at Grown Folks Talking. Express yourself. And from the Facebook page, take a visit and a like, my friend. Grown Folks Talking. Express yourself. PPN on Facebook. Take a visit, like, share, comment, my friend. Keep a follow. That's right. Caution up. Check out the shows, check out the schedule of events, podcasting, present and future hits.
Next in 19. 50 seconds.
We can't forget the gals. Guys and gals, but shall we just say, hey, everyone. Yes, indeed, my friends, and we're not done. We are not done. We are not done. We have just begun for you right here on the Xtra-Hype Connection podcast. Glad you can join us. Glad you're here with us on a Friday. You could have been anywhere else, but you're here with us, and we do appreciate all of our returning listeners as well as our new listeners and new friends. Thank you for joining us, my friends. We've already given our shout-outs to the local businesses that support and show love to this podcast. We'll just run them down for you real quick once again before we get started. We got Konos Restaurant, 108 J. Bed Street, right here in Newark, New Jersey, open 7 days a week. Latin cuisine. You're going to love the flavor, and I guarantee you will savor the way that they prepare that food fresh for you. Nothing done free. Everything is done fresh right there in their kitchen. And you can see them prep your food and cook it before they deliver it to you. Gonna love it. C.M. Ward Coffee Company, been in North for over a century, okay? Between City Hall and the Federal Building, Franklin Street, Federal Square. Walk right in, smell the fresh ground coffee beans. They got dried fruits. They got chocolate-covered pecans, almonds, walnuts, etc. They got, oh my goodness, they got apricot jelly. They got strawberry, raspberry, blueberry, mint. They got walnut, cashew, pecan, almond butters, all in glass jars with metal tops. I'm telling you, they got salads. They got fruit salads. They got so much stuff in there. They got coffee. They got tea. They got smoothies. They got juice drinks. I mean, everything to keep you healthy and keep smiles on your face as well. Make sure you go down to T.M. Ward Coffee Company and tell them you heard about them from this podcast, Xtra-Hype Connection, on the Grown Folk Talk and Express Yourself Progressive Podcast Network. Also, we got Just Fish. Just Fish. That's right. Bar and Grill. Just Fish. Seafood extraordinaire. You're going to love it there. 27 Halsey Street right here in Newark, New Jersey. And say hello to Tia when you're walking there, all right? Tell her that I sent you. Say hello to Tia. She'll love to meet you and greet you. And last but not least, we got AJ Caribbean, case 150 Halsey Street. That's right, your time will not waste there. I tell you, they got some great stuff to satisfy any palate and to also lighten up your soul a little bit. So go there and tell them you heard about them from the podcast right here, would you? All right. All right, everybody. Those are our announcements. Glad you could join us. Please continue to invite your friends. Tonight, our topic centers around the new face of money. It is here, and it will be rolling out very soon. And tonight is simply for your information, because you must know so that you can use it, not lose it, and grow. And we're going to share that with you tonight. A little something, something. Give you some definitions of words that you may not have heard, but things that you must know, because it's already here. There is no rolling back. There is no taking back. The digital age has finally opened up and shown itself. So tonight, we're going to make sure that you have some information to equip yourselves and some resources to give you more to be able to use and to not be left behind and feel abused. Okay? So, getting started, but before we do, you know it's customary. Flofokuz is going to come in and just kind of go ahead and salute you. So, let's go there. Flofokuz. Send a little on this with you. Thank you, Flo. Thank you, Flo. Always on focus. Always on focus. That's right. That's right. Tonight, the topic deals with money, the new way of using money, and not to get lost and to get your hand out my pocket sauce. Okay? Because as we already know, as we have it now, about money, there's always hands in our pocket, grabbing what they can, taking more than they should. And we wonder, what else? What else should or could they do? But, of course, everything is changing now. The cash is king is no longer going to be what your ears hear and what your mind bells ring. Nah, cash is no longer king. But we're going to tell you this. The digital age has come to light now. It has come. It was unfolding for a very long time, very slowly, very slowly, very slowly. But it is here now. And there is no turning back. There is no giving back. There are no do-overs. There is no, oh, we made a mistake. Let's go back and reset. No, 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 no. As it stands right now, as you all know, some denominations like hundreds, hard to come by nowadays. They're still out there, but few and far between. 50s. Can't remember the last time I've seen one of them or handled one of them, I should say. 20s, 10s, 5s, and 1s are in abundance, but they're beginning to be slowly phased out. You know, you got some places that won't accept bills over 20. They have signs posted. We will not accept bills larger than 20. Pretty soon that may go down, so we will not accept bills at all after this particular time. That may be the next sign that you'll see in some of our stores. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Remember, we got you covered because it's Xtra-Hype, and that's what we do for you and others. So you make sure that you continue to invite throughout this podcast, because tonight this is what you want to hear. So, as the money system takes a turn and a change, and of course it has, because you already know some of our change is no longer available and accessible, especially when you go to the store and you buy something for $3.66. And you can't get your correct change back, or you pay an overage. We've already seen that, the pennies stopped circulating them. Took them out of circulation. And our money system, or the money system that was being used here, that centralized money system, and we're going to tell you what that means, technically does not operate technically, even though we're still trading back and forth, what change we have left and what bills we have left. Technically, it's not even out in operation anymore, because once you break one piece of it that is required, which the penny, believe it or not, is the one that gives everything its form and its function, because it's the one that can equal out any amount. It can conclude, it can cap, it can satisfy any amount, odd or even. We don't even have them anymore. That means that technically the accounts can't be closed out to zero. Think about it. Just think about it. debts. They say, oh, well, you owe us $100 and you owe us 46 cents. Well, maybe I can give you $100. And maybe I can give you 45. But here, why don't I just give you $101? But maybe they haven't given you change back. As you know, they don't send change to the mail. And nobody writes checks for that amount. Cents. They don't do that. So all of this is changing now. Everything is going over to digital. Everything is going over to crypto. And please don't be afraid of that. It's nothing but a new way of dealing with back and forth transactions. It's simply a new system. What I mean by new system, the denominations will still be the same in essence. You know, $10 is still $10, 20 is 20, 50, 100. All of that is still the same. You just can't handle it anymore. You can't touch it. You can't count it out anymore. You can't put it on the counter and show it. No, it's all in an account right now. But I'm going to make sure that you understand that the way that this is going is not the only game in town. Now, there's other coins that are digital, that are crypto, that we haven't even heard of. We've heard of, the United States, because we're here, is going to a digital financial system. They say, oh, it makes things quicker, maybe. Smoother transactions, I don't know about that. And you'll always be able to get your money on time. Well, not if they keep the same rules where the banks are closed on the weekends. And it takes them so many days to process a transaction. If it's an ACH, it may take about 7 days, 10 days. If it's a wire transfer where you got to pay for the convenience, sure, it might clear in a few hours, or it might clear immediately, depending on the congestion in their system. Or, if they need to get some authorization because the amount that you're getting is above a certain amount. And of course, now they have to get authorization to clear that, which takes more time. Pretty much the same type of functioning going on. Just that you can't touch anything anymore. Pretty soon, banks are not going to be giving out cash anymore. They're just going to be touching buttons and processing transactions that way. And of course, there'll still be somebody with their hand in your pocket, in a sense, because they will have control of what you call yours. Now, that's the banking system and other systems such as government and whatever else you want to call it, They will have what they call a centralized banking or financial system. Now, I want to tell you something. I always knew that the banks and the ones who, hold the banks up, the governments, they had something going, and I could never really put my finger on it until a very, very wise, intelligent, and hell of an instructor had my ear and my attention as she broke this thing down to me in the span of about an hour and taught me about centralized and decentralized systems. And then I went to go look it up for myself. I didn't just want to hear it and say, oh, okay, I got, nah. This was too important for me to pass this by. I said, whoa, wait a minute. You mean there's two different systems at work here? Yeah. One is the natural system, peer-to-peer, decentralized. That means you and I transact business. We communicate, we interact, peer-to-peer. It's just us. There is nobody else involved. No one. It's just us. And we do what we do with the understanding that we have between each other, and that's cool. The centralized system is the one where an outside party comes along and says, hey, you know what? We can handle all of that for you. Here, I'll tell you what we'll do. You want to do this kind of business and you want to do this kind of business. Well, instead of you having to come together, which might not be convenient for you, you can tell us what you want to have done. Then you know what? You can come to us. You can tell us what needs to be done. And guess what? If you both can't come to us, then you can come to us on Monday and tell us. And then you can come over here on Wednesday and we can complete it with you. Sounds like convenience, right? Not really. It's control. Because somebody has just entered themselves into your own business, your private functions and transactions, and gotten themselves all up in the mix of your stuff. So now guess what? They can now set policies and rules for how these transactions can go moving forward. Why? Because they're handling our stuff. They got their hands on our stuff. They have it as a chain of custody. In other words, you gave them something of value. Now they're holding it. They say they're responsible for it. They have to make sure that they dot the I's and cross the T's. And guess what? After a while, it's not so convenient anymore. That's a centralized system. It's in the financial sector. I'll just name a few others where decentralized and centralized are just side by side. With regard to our food, our nourishment, our nutrition, decentralized, you grow it at home, you grow food at home. You grow some food in your backyard, out on your balcony. If you got a front lawn, and you got a fence or something around it so that others don't just come picking stuff up, there. How about out in the open, maybe you plant some tomato plants in a patch of grass that's between two buildings. We had that over here where I am. There was a wild tomato bush growing. This thing was wide. It was long, too. And it was growing them nice green tomatoes. Oh, my goodness, man. Picked them off. They were good. Growing out there in the wild. Right next to the bank. Somebody came along with a landscaping tool, and suddenly the whole bush of tomatoes was gone. What a shame. But that's decentralized, where you plant stuff and you can just go and you can pick it. You can feed and nourish yourself. Centralized, the grocery store has it. You got to go to them. You got to get it from there to take it back to your home so that now you can use it to nourish yourself. But what if the policy or the rules of that market change, like they did during the pandemic? Oh, yeah, you can come here, but you can only buy this much. Yeah, you can come here, but you can only shop 3 days out of the week at most. And you can only shop 15 days out of the month at the most. Centralized. The one in the middle, the one in the center, making the policies and the rules, calls all the shots, tells everybody else what they can and can't do based on policies and rules and laws and regulations and codes that are made up. making people jump through hoops to get what they need, to get what they want, to get what they desire. That's a centralized system. Now, months ago on our podcast, and this is more towards the beginning of the year and towards last year in 2025, I spoke to you about the court system. And I mentioned to you that your county courts, your superior courts, are actually immigration courts. And if you went and took my challenge and looked it up, you'd see that that is right. And that all of your county clerks, or I should say court clerks, are immigration officers. If you look that up, you'll see that I was telling you right. Go ahead and look it up. Municipal courts, county courts, state courts, even federal courts, all handle immigration and naturalization in a decentralized way. I just found that out. Yes, I did. I looked it up. What is centralized and decentralized in our court system? The immigration and naturalization function of the courts is a decentralized function amongst the county courts, the municipal courts, the state courts, and in some cases, some of the federal courts. But where did the centralization come in? Bam, when the legislation came in and said, hey, these are the laws concerning immigration and naturalization. These are the policies. These are the rules. This is how it gets done. We call the shots. We tell you what to do, and you do it this way. Now, here's the thing. We talked about it right now with the courts, central and decentralization. Talked about it with your nutrition and your grocery stores and your self-gardens at home and in your backyards. And we talked about it with the finance system, the banks, the governments, and then your peer-to-peer transactions, right? Okay. Now check this out. We now see that there are two systems at work side by side. Tell me, why have we only heard about one and how it works? We've only heard so much talk about, oh, this is the only way to do this. Oh, you wanna work, you wanna make money, you wanna support yourself, you wanna, be self-sufficient. Well, hey, fill out this application. Tell us all of your business. Let us know your name, where you live, how old you are. Give us your social, which you ain't supposed to do under privacy laws, but that's another story. Tell us, where'd you go to school? Who are your parents? What's your mother's maiden name? Why do you need all of that? Oh, we see you got this much education. Well, guess what? You're overqualified for this job. We can't hire you. Really? Overqualified because, what, you got too much education? Okay. All right. Yeah, sure. Okay. This is the system that is promoted every day, all day. The other one, not talked about so much. Why? So that what? Our gaze can shift from what was and what was working for us all the time to something else that has just come in on the scene, shown itself, larger than life, supposed to solve a whole lot of problems, and it simply created more chaos. Why? Because they come in with this system that's supposed to make everything so much better, but what they don't say is that it can change its way of functioning. and dealing with us. It can. It can do that. We've already seen it in the financial world with our money. Inflation rates go up, taxes, we pay more, the penalties are attached, debt, there's all these other agencies and businesses claiming that they're owed money from somebody and they want to, go through the bank and levy your account, lien your assets and all of this. And then when your taxes are, done, you fill out your forms, you put them in. Oh, but they didn't give them to you. They said, oh, we penalized you for filing late or whatever, and you're owed from this, and you can't figure out, well, where did I owe this at? Just continues on and on like a snowball going down a hill, picking up momentum and bringing more snow. It just seems to never stop, right? Well, the digital world with that financial system isn't much different. It's pretty much the same. The only thing different is you can't touch the asset. You can't touch a dollar bill anymore. You can't touch it. It's all digital. So with the centralized system, who has control of those digits in those accounts that have our identifying information on it? I'll give you one guess. You got it. You're right. Exactly. They do. But, the good news is you have a choice. You have a choice to reconnect to the way things were done before all of this nut chaos took place. And that's with your decentralized currencies. Yes, they are digital. And yes, they are cryptos, but they're not the same thing that are used in the centralized system. Here's the difference. Decentralized has no middleman, has no agencies, no governments, no banking or financial institutions calling the shots on what is yours. You get what you make. There is no tax on what you make because there is no entity there to tax it. Why? Because it's separate from what is centralized. They're not the same. Picture it like this. A train runs on two railroad tracks, but those tracks never intersect. They never meet. Think of it that way. Centralized is one, decentralized is the other. Now you have a choice as to which one you want to deal with, which side of the tracks you want to be closest to. The left or the right. It's your choice now. So if you want to have your transactions between you and whoever, you want to create a business. You don't want to go through all the, mind numbing and aggravating and, daunting task of filling out this form and registering this here and getting this number and then putting out this amount of money and then getting this insurance and then getting this kind of phone and this kind of address. And then you got to get a registered agent and all this other stuff. And you end up paying out more, maybe 3 or 4 times more in some cases than you would with just starting a regular business. In a decentralized world, that doesn't exist that way because there is no third party in the middle of everybody's business calling the shots. There's peer-to-peer. And in the digital world, everything is governed through what they call smart contracts. Now, I'm not going to go deep into this, but I'm going to give you a very simple explanation of what that is. A smart contract is a program, okay? It is a program that carries out a function between people, peers who do business, and it keeps everything honest. It cannot be manipulated. It cannot be bought. It cannot change. Whatever is set, and if it's acceptable on blockchain, that's where all crypto transactions and other peer-to-peer transactions take place in the digital world. As long as it's acceptable, it's readable, and it can be executable on the blockchain, which records every transaction between peers so that there is no loss. There is no one that can say, well, I sent you this, but there's no record of it. No. That doesn't happen. It's not like the centralized world where they lose records. Things get corrupted. Over here, it's already functioning. It's already what it is. It's set in stone. It's put there. It doesn't change. It's protected, and it carries out the same function over and over and over again. It recognizes what is going on and what needs to be done, and it carries it out seamlessly, quickly, peer-to-peer. You're not waiting days to get paid. You're not waiting hours in a day for this transaction to go over here. You're not paying all of these top dollar fees for this transfer to go here. You're not paying extra for this convenience. No. All of that, no need for. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't close on a weekend. It doesn't shut down on the holidays. Okay? It doesn't take half days. None of that stuff. It doesn't say, well, you know what? Our office is going to be closed on Thursdays in observance of this holiday or this activity or event going on. It doesn't do that. It doesn't recognize any of that. And it keeps everyone honest and everything above board. Okay. So you have crypto, digital money, digital currency, digital finance, one in a centralized system. On the other side, you have a decentralized system. Best believe that the governments and the financial institutions are still going to run their system in the centralized way that they've been doing it for all of these years. They're going to do it digitally. And if you want to rock with them, that's on you. Because it's simply going to be the same thing as it was before, all except you just can't touch the assets. Now, on the decentralized side, which is peer-to-peer, which the power is back in the hands of the people because it's no longer a central network, it's a distributed network. That means that everybody has the control of what is in their touch, within their grasp, whatever they can move, whatever they can say, I'll send this here, I'll accept this. There is no middleman. The network is distributed throughout all of the users, and everything is kept honest. Because there is one thing that controls and runs and administers everything, and it's a programmed contract. It doesn't deviate. It doesn't deviate. So if you and I are doing business, and I'm supposed to pay you X amount of, let's just call it glides, okay? Let's just call it that. The coin, the decentralized coins, the digital currency or the cryptocurrency is called glides. I'm supposed to pay you 1,000 glides for these tires for my car. I'm going to put the order in for the tires. The smart contract is going to recognize that those tires cost this amount. So, make and model of the tires, the size, treads, how many miles they have on. All of that stuff goes into the description. Still got a bill of lading. Guess what? The glides that I own are going to be paid for those tires. I'm going to enter the glides into the system from my digital wallet, that's where you hold your crypto at, to the proprietor's wallet. And then the tires are going to ship or be delivered to me. That transaction with the finance, right there in an instant. A few seconds, maybe up to a minute. Depending, of course, how many people are using the system. But yeah, quick. It's not going to take, days, weeks. This ACH will take 7 days, but once it gets to their account, now you got to wait another 7 days for it to actually clear. What? It's something we got to wait 14, we got to wait 2 weeks? Goodness gracious, right. Over here, no. Boom, right there automatically. How do you want us to deliver? You want us to deliver it through FedEx, UPS? You want us to deliver it through the post office? You want us to send somebody out just to bring it? You got a guy that can drive the truck and drop it off to you? What do you want us to do? Work it out. It puts the responsibility of our own lives and our own existence back in our own hands. In other words, cut out the convenience. Somebody coming along selling you snake oil, say, okay, we can do this so much better for you. That is how we got into the mess in the first place, by putting our trust in what people called a system of convenience. And I'm quite sure that we've learned now that the convenience of things is not the greatest thing, especially when we trust those that we don't know to handle those things that belong to us that they should really have no dealings with, because now, once they have it, they have a chain of custody and they can actually make policies and rules to regulate those things and to quote unquote keep them safe, even if it means keeping it away from us. For what purpose, you may ask? Well, in the financial world, it seems that they put funds in accounts and they gain interest off of them while they sit there, making them money on money that isn't there, and then delaying the transaction so they can make more. Centralized system. Decentralized system, that does not happen. Everybody grows because everybody does business above board, and everybody supports each other with transactions back and forth. So therefore, we all continue to thrive. We continue to grow. We continue to move forward. We are nourished. We're secure. We're stable. We're not losing our homes. We're not getting evicted. We're not drowning in debt. Yes, we're able to use our digital coins, and that's just the name they give them, but our cryptocurrency to acquire things that we need in order to live. Yes, we can do that. Now, I'll give you one other thing as an aside. Now, you may say, okay, well, all of this crypto, blah, 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 where did this all come from? How does this work? Blah, blah, blah. How do we do this? Okay, let me give you a brief synopsis here. Because like I said, this is information that you may want to know. I think you need to know this. You can make the choice that you want to make. Central or decentral. It's up to you. But you need to have information so that you can make a choice that suits you best. And that's what I really desire for you to have, is the ability to know what you're getting into and then be able to make a choice from there. Now, let's take this for example. Back in the early 2000s, you all remember when Bitcoin started coming up? And it was big in New York, so I think it was like an East Coast kind of thing, I think. But it was big in New York, especially in Manhattan. And I remember, honestly, when I used to work down at Bowling Green, right there near the ferry, right there by the park. And I was promoting for AM New York. I remember that. I'd be walking by some stores, and I would see these yellow signs with this blue and red writing that said Bitcoin. I didn't know what that was. But I've seen it in a few stores, and I figured, okay, well, that's something. I didn't know whether it was going to be around for a while or not. Well, I know I saw it. I didn't know what it was. But that was in the early stages of when it was coming out, right? And then, back then when YouTube was kind of sort of getting its weight up, not like it is now, but it was getting its weight up. And then, there were people talking about it here and there. Nobody really knew what it was except for the people that was talking about it. And who would have ever thought that something that was a fraction of a penny would now, the coins, you could buy the coins for like a fraction of, you could get like 10 of those coins for 1 cent back then. Now one of the Bitcoins costs you about $80,000 for one. Now ain't that a jump in value? Now, Bitcoin, thank God, is decentralized. It's peer-to-peer, and it's held itself that way ever since it began. So thank God, you heard us before we even said anything about it, set it up so we got a big store of value with Bitcoin that's decentralized. It's not regulated by government, not regulated by any financial institutions, none of that. It's peer-to-peer only. And guess what? Bitcoin is now accepted around the world. So there are countries that accept Bitcoin other than the U.S. Now, there are places that just straight up take Bitcoin, right? And there are other places that take other coins too, okay? But not every place is taking every other coin because there's thousands of coins out here, okay? But let me give you a little bit of a walkthrough, and I'll be brief with this, okay? Promise. I didn't mean to go this far, but I just had to get this out. So let me show you how this works. You got these centralized currencies, okay? Those, let's just imagine that they're kind of like on this side of the room, on the right side, the right train track, okay? Centralized is on the left. Let's leave them over here for now. But on the right, you got all these decentralized coins, right? They all have a certain type of value. Now, let's say you want to get some Bitcoin. Now, do you have to pay $80,000 to get it? No, you don't. You can buy Bitcoin in any denomination that you want. Yes, you can. You can buy $5 worth. You can get $10 worth. You can get $20 worth. You can. And you know how you can get it? One or two ways that I know of. Use your fiat money, which you got now, to get it. Right? That's from a centralized system. You got to go through a whole bunch of rigmarole to get that. Or if you have decentralized cryptocurrency coins, you can swap what you have for Bitcoin. You don't have to go through all of that other rigmarole. Show me your ID. Give me your date of birth. Give me 2 of your toes, 3 of your fingernails, and half the hair off your head, along with your ID, social, where you're at, your telephone number, blah, blah, blah. No. Too much. Decentralized system coins, you can swap those. Swap this one for that one for that one. Swap this one for that one, and then take that one and swap it for that one. And then it comes back to you. And guess what? If you're swapping it for the one that's worldwide known right now, then guess what you can do? You can take that after you make your swap and you go get whatever it is you need, wherever it's accepted. Like they say, wherever Visa and MasterCard is accepted. Well, wherever Bitcoin is accepted, go around Manhattan right now. Big centralized cities, you're going to see it. We accept Bitcoin here. We accept crypto here. There are some places that take other coins. Mm-hmm. But until other coins get to be up there, like Bitcoin, just like you had Amex, and then you had Visa, then you had Diners Club, then you had MasterCard, then you had Carte Blanche, then you had Discover. Right. Started small, but then others joined in and then built up their weight. Now they're accepted everywhere. Now, decentralized. That's centralized. Decentralized. Bitcoin. Started small. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole thing is fucking here. Started from the bottom, look where it is now. Everywhere. You don't think that other coins are going to be accepted right alongside of Bitcoin, just like things are accepted right alongside of Amex, Visa, MasterCard, Discover? That's centralized. That's a world of merchants over there that are regulated by the rules of commerce and the commercial codes. Let that stay over there. Why don't we stay over here where we at? We got peer-to-peer transactions where we know where our stuff is going and where it's coming from. We know who we're doing business with, and we know that we got something regulating our transactions. And hey, here's the thing, another thing. The regulation of it, I said the smart contracts, make sure that when you do business with somebody in a deregulated system, decentralized system, that there's a smart contract in place so you don't get burned, okay? Because remember the principles that we talked about on this podcast before, if it was not written down, then it never existed. It's not in writing. There's no record of it. It didn't exist. So make sure that when you do business, be wise. Yeah, trust but verify. Yeah, I trust you that you're above board, but you got a smart contract in place? Okay. We do business when you have a smart contract in place. And then I want to know what that smart contract says. This is the new way of dealing with money. It's already here. Very soon to roll out. Sooner than later, you're going to see a decrease in paper. Because they're going to take it out of the system, just like they took the pennies away. They just pulled them out. Oh, take them away. Don't think that they won't be doing that with the paper money because they're going to this digital. Now, another thing about centralized and decentralized crypto coins is this. The centralized ones, you've heard of them. USDT, XRP, XTS, and there's a few others. I can't think of them, can't call them right now. But a lot of those coins that go based on denominations, especially the U.S. coins, do not grow in value. They don't grow in value. $20 worth of United States crypto is going to be $20 today, $20 tomorrow, $20 the next day. Now, if I don't miss my guess, and I'm saying I don't know, but if somehow rates go higher, whether they bring back interest or whether it be a taxable rate, that $20 of digital currency is still going to be $20. So if the rates go higher, guess what you got to do? You got to have more of that digital to deal with the price hikes. That's a centralized system. In the decentralized system, the value of your coins is not fixed. It can move. It's dynamic. Increases in value. Look at this. Bitcoin used to be a fraction of a penny. It's now $80,000 for one crypto coin. And that's over 15 years. So just imagine if you had $1 worth of those back in the day. If you just went there, if you give me $1 worth of these things, I'll get 10 of them for a penny. Give me $1 worth. Oh. What? And you can use it? Wouldn't need no GoFundMes. But check it out. If you want to raise funds, you can do it with a decentralized coin because you now know that these coins have value and the value of these coins increases. And you can take these coins and swap them for which one? The one that was here from the beginning. The one that's been standing strong and standing tall. Bitcoin for all, y'all. Now, I'm not putting the plug for Bitcoin, but I'm giving you an example. Like I said, there's many different coins out here, but Bitcoin is the one that's known worldwide. Wouldn't even surprise me if it was up galactically, too, on the space stations, on some of the satellites. Maybe a little placard on there that said, funded through Bitcoin. Who knows? But this is the new face of money. And you have two sides of the coin here, no pun intended, centralized, decentralized. And this is information brought to you so that you can know. And if you know, then you can make a choice based on what you know and what's going to suit you. So, that's a little bit, just a little bit. Oh, and by the way, the goddess, I'm going to call her this, because she is a goddess of crypto. When I sat down and I listened to her, the first time I heard it, she was on this network. And I listened to her. It's something she said caught my ear. And I said, wait, say that again? And she said it again. I said, is that right? She said, uh-huh. I said, we need to talk. She said, okay. I got her information. I joined her conference, her web conference. And I came there with the intent of listening and learning. And I listened and I learned so much that I said, how do I get in on this? Now, truth be told, in our world, we know everything takes money. Everybody wants an investor, right? They say, okay, this is it. They give us the world, okay, here it is, blah, blah, blah. And we're saying to ourselves, okay, how much is this going to hurt my pocket? And I had my pocket open, right, in the manner of speaking, right? All right, get ready for the hand to go in there, right? And when I heard $9.99, I said, shit, ouch, right? And I was embarrassed when I heard no, $9.99. I said, what? I said, how often do I have to pay that? Just once. She said, welcome to the decentralized world. I was speechless. I was speechless. I said, all right, let's do this right now. No, right, not now, right now. I said, you serious? She said, yeah. I said, what am I getting for this? She told me everything I was getting for it. And you know what? It was so much. I said, wait a minute. I'm only paying, and I'm getting. She said, yeah. She said, you want me to tell you again? I said, no. It's okay. Let's do this. Education, resources, training, opportunities to actually create my own business in the decentralized world. Got all the headaches and the aggravation that goes along with what the centralized brought us. And check this out. Not only can I build up, get myself up there, riding the wave right now instead of being on the tail end of it, I can also create accounts for my grandchildren, for my children, and for any other thing I want to do, and fund those so that, you know what, when they come of age and they're responsible, they ain't got no worries. They set. They don't have to struggle the way that I had to struggle, and my parents and their parents. And so, no, that's over. Now they get to live life according to their decisions and on their terms, because it's already there for them. They just need to be groomed and brought along to respect what they have. Welcome to the decentralized world. Welcome back to what we had before we foolishly trusted something and didn't verify it. And look at all the chaos it caused. But now, we got to reset. And this reset has separated the wheat from the tares, in a manner of speaking. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up the line, but check this out. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do Q&A. This is a little bit different. This is a little bit different from what we usually do. Now, I'm going to tell you how this goes, okay?
Q&A session has started.
Okay, everybody. This is how this is going to work. *6 on your keypad gets you into the queue for Q&A. When you hit *6, there's going to be a menu prompt. It's going to tell you to press the number 1. That's number 1. That's going to put you in the queue and acknowledge that you have a question. You have your hand raised. We will then go through the queue. We will acknowledge you, open up your line. You can ask your question or give your comment. We'll respond. And then once that is done, we'll move to the next person in the queue. Okay? If you would like to ask a second question, just remain in the queue or press 1 again so that you can raise your hand. And you will be taken to the end so that once we go through everybody who wanted to make a comment or had a question, you can come back up again. Okay? So, once again, on your phone, press the star key and the number 6. The menu prompt should tell you to press 1 to raise your hand or to go into the queue to speak. Okay? So everybody, *6 on your phone's keypad, and then press 1. We'll give you a few minutes to do that. And while we're giving you a few minutes to go ahead and do that, Flofokuz, brother, would you like to come in and just address our listening audience? I know that *6 is a thing, bro. I know. Good points. And I'm quite sure that there are others that share the same sentiment. And that's okay. That is okay, because this is actually new for a lot of us. We never heard this before. We know that we've experienced what we've experienced, but it has taken on an appearance of being one thing. When actually, there was actually more than one thing, but one was just covered up, not spoken of too much, not referred to, never mentioned, not pointed out. There's always one thing that kind of just stood out, and stood up and stood tall. But once again, like I said, this is information. Now, what I would suggest is that this is just a suggestion. You don't have to do this. But if this information prompts you to want to know how you can break free from your struggle, then the message that you got, the text message you got, just put a 2 and respond with the number 2. That's all. You got it on your phone. It's sitting there. You can reply to it. Reply with the number 2. That's all. We'll direct you to the rest. I'll direct you to the rest. But just reply, because you'll be able to get more information and more clarity. And you'll be able to then know more, be able to ask more questions, and then make your own choice. Because at the end of the day, it is a matter of choice. But information is key so that you can know. All right. So once again, the Q&A section, please hit *6 on your keypad, and then the prompt should tell you to touch the number 1, so that you can be recognized that you would like to speak. If you only do *6, you're only going to go into the queue, but you won't be able to actually be recognized to speak. So it will be *6 and then 1 on the keypad, all right? All right. Let's see how we do here. Okay. See if again. I got a first call. All right. Hello. Do we have a first caller? Okay. I don't think we have a caller there. Hold on. Okay. Hello. Do we have a caller on the line? Okay. Doesn't seem like we have any callers there. All right. Once again, *6 if you want to join the Q&A, and then press the number 1. Okay. Hopefully. Let's see. Let me do it. Okay. I guess nobody has a question for Q&A. So let's do this. And let's do this. All righty. Let's see here. We're just going to go ahead and unmute the lines. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and forego the Q&A. I think we're just going to go ahead and unmute the lines. So let's do it this way. Okay. Let's see. Oh, wait. There we go. And keep, there we go. Okay. So we're going to just go ahead and I'm going to unmute the lines for Q&A. I don't know if anybody signed up to that, but we're going to go ahead and just unmute them. Okay. Okay.
Q&A session is over.
Okay. There we go.
All participants are unmuted.
Hello.
Okay, there we go. There we go. Yes, we are. We are here. We can hear everybody. You are unmuted.
Yeah.
Okay, I need questions.
This is Joffrey. Yeah, I'm listening to you. Centralized versus decentralized. And my question is, what is the it? If you and I want to enter into a contract to do something, you and I hand you whatever in payment, to me, that's decentralized. But if it controls anything, that it sounds like a central something or another to me. I could be wrong, so I'm going to let that question there and hopefully get an answer. I'm muting my phone.
All right, good question. So, you're right. When two people decide to do business or transact, whatever, right, between them two, that is a decentralized transaction. And as you said, you're hearing an it. Okay? And it seems to what you're hearing that an it involved in anything creates a centralized situation. Well, let me put it to you this way. And let me answer it like this, so maybe it makes sense this way. The it is actually controlled at the will of the participants, and it does not have a choice to make any changes to what the participants do. So in other words, in a digital world, it's seamless. It's there. It's like the alternator in the car, right? Crank the car up, the battery gives a spark, sparks go through all the wires and all the different relays, gets to the alternator generates the spark over and over again to keep the car going. That's all the generator does. It does nothing else but that. It's an it, but it keeps that car running. Okay, same thing with the smart contracts in the blockchain. It isn't it, but it's programmed to do a certain thing, and that is it. It doesn't deviate. It doesn't have any will to change anything, create policy, to create any rules, to change things. No. It only does what it's there to do to make things go seamlessly between participants and their transactions. Keeps everything honest, keeps everything above board. You can't hide, you can't steal, none of that stuff. It's there. And it does what it does to keep everything smooth, fair, and honest. Now, centralized, on the other hand, is a system controlled by a third party, with people, of course, who can hold chain of custody over property that is not theirs. Example, your money, your banks, your financial institutions. They can then create policies in the name of, keeping transactions safe, although we know that we've had a bunch of data breaches, and keeping your finances secure, which means that you can't get to them unless you go through certain hoops to get to them, and then you still might not get to them for whatever reason. That's the centralized system. It is run by people, and they do use tools, but they're third parties who come in to situations wanting our trust, to hand over our stuff to them, to trust them to do the right thing. I think we've seen enough of that we can't do that. That we shouldn't do that. Not on that scale. So hopefully that does answer your question.
Okay, I'm going to wait and see if somebody else has something before I ask something else.
All right.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Oh, come on, Joe.
Yes.
I had been asking that for the last 10 minutes and nobody responded. What happens? What happens if suddenly there is no electricity anywhere?
Well, if there's no electricity anywhere, you would be doing the transactions. So I guess we would just have to use what we have at that time and just make do with that and maybe exchange things with other people to get things and trade off with them.
Mm-hmm. Back to the old-fashioned ways, swapping and trading, right? Mm-hmm.
Stones, yeah, bedrock. Uh-huh.
Yeah, right
yes.
back to...
If the lights go out.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like they did in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be back to doing that. Candles, blankets,
mm-hmm.
sunlight, batteries and radios.
Uh-huh.
Marcus?
Yep.
I can hear you.
Marcus, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I just want to say quickly, as Joyce brought that up, online, you can purchase these pads. They're like generators, solar power generators that not for your refrigerator, but for your devices, you could just sit it in the window because they say we're going to get a blackout. So, when she said that, it just made me kind of remember that and to share. So they're pads that open up, and you can sit them in the window, and as long as there's sun, you can plug in and charge up your devices. And I think everybody should look into getting that. Everybody should look into getting that. Hi. The back is manual. Okay. Should look into getting a couple of them. They have them small. I've taken them on picnics, and they have them a little larger. But, just in case the lights do go out on Broadway. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll get that link from you later. I'd like to get that link from you later.
Wow. Is Joyce finished?
Yes.
Well, I want to say, if you're finished, I want to say thank you. Thank you for that question. See, because all this digital stuff, it does rely on the electricity. And since they have these EMPs that they are talking about deploying, where you don't have communication, okay, then what happens to your quote-unquote digital assets? See, I'm thinking when the people that stole this land and got rid of Britain and came with their constitution, they did not want a centralized banking system. They didn't want that, okay? And so I don't know how they conducted business back then, but they didn't want what happened, what was it, in 1912? In 1912, with the creation of, the U.S., not the U.S. Treasury, Marcus, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. See, that's what brought that centralization in, which put it under other people's control, the control of the financing. And when you say programming, I talk with Gemini a whole heck of a lot. And Gemini is a program programmed by individuals or corporations, just like ChatGPT. And according to the programming, it acts, or it comes up with a lot of BS and mistakes and hallucinations. So a short question is, okay, who controls that? See, that's what scares me. It sounds like we're only going to get off the dollar to go back into something that's going to come right back around to where we are today. That's what my little mind thinks. I yield.
Okay. Good question. Good question. I will say this. Our topic tonight deals with currency, whether it's digital, whether it's paper right now, whether it's coins. We're still dealing with finance. Now, of course, yeah, we use electricity to power a lot of things. And yes, everything is already laid out. Digital is here. So there's no need in trying to, turn away or turn a deaf eye, blind, whatever, It's here. It is here, and it's going forward. And it's going to move forward, and it has been moving forward. But it's just on a larger scale. Now, yes, we do need electricity to run things, especially our refrigerators, our light sockets, our washers and our dryers, our clippers for, shaving and, haircuts and all that stuff. Electricity actually runs our water pumps so that we do get water through our faucets and all that stuff. Does a whole lot of stuff, But, hey, not saying that I would want to, but, if we had a large type of blackout or whatever, and there were some things that had to be preserved, I think we'd have to go back to some older ways of packing things in salt to preserve them just as long as we could. But that's really not our topic tonight. But I'm just saying to answer that. But here's the thing. Before centralization, what did we have? We had peer-to-peer. That's what we had. You did things above board. You did things above ground. You had rules for the way that you transacted, and there was honor. You honored those rules, period. And if somebody didn't have those rules in place, then they were ostracized. Go over there with that. No, we don't want that. You go over there with that. If you don't want to, deal with the rules of blah, 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 we're not going to deal with you. That's how it was done. Yeah. Simple and plain. You have two sides of the coin. You flip it, you may land on heads now. You flip it again, it land on tails. Okay, so there's two different sides. If they were the same side, then there would be no difference. The reason we don't hear about decentralization is because the spotlight is on what we've already had that's been kicking us in our rear for so long. Giving us anxiety, giving us aggravation, giving us anger, giving us fits, taking our tempers out of our heads, depression, everything that is not good for us. And then sometimes it kind of does do good for us. But for the most time, in the most part, what do we get? Disappointment. So we either live with that disappointment, or we decide for ourselves that we want to do something that's going to benefit us. And that this time we're going to be responsible enough to make sure that what has happened doesn't happen again. And that's going to take a lot from everyone. Not somebody else regulating and being responsible for stuff, because we've seen what that does. Okay? So in the hands of a few, too much power does what? Corrupt. Absolutely. They think they're high and mighty. And they think they can do anything with impunity. I don't think we want that no more. I really don't. And here, listen. The system of governance right now is centralized because it's flipped over on its head. Listen, if you want to vote, that's fine. But know what you're voting for. Know which system you're engaging with. One that says you will be a voter and you will say that you desire for this person to work for you. You're going to hire that person to do what? To tell you what to do, to tell you what their agenda is. Centralized. Why? Because they can make policies, they can make rules, they can make laws, they can do anything they want in their own mind and within their own reason for doing it. But prior to all of this nonsense coming in with the centralization, we had decentralized systems, which said, you will be our representative because you come from the grassroots of this community. You know, you hear, you're a part of what these people have struggled for, with, and want. You know what we want. You speak well. You articulate well. And you represent our interests. You can convey what it is that we have all agreed to without all of us having to go down here and try to talk all at the same time. You can do it. Therefore, you will go and you will represent our interests. Decentralized. Why? Because that person was hired, was elected in, was sent to sit there and say, okay, this is the community, this is the state, this is the place where I represent, the people's ideals are this, blah, 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 so and so and so with regard to what we have going on here. That's a decentralized platform. There is no, well, let's make a tweak here, let's change it here. There is no here, let's give you some cash, let's give you some extra this, let's give you some gravy on top, and let's give you eyes for our outside interests over here. There is none of that. What we put in place, everybody agrees to in a decentralized system because it works for the good of everyone. Now, individually speaking, it works good for us as well. And we take care of ourselves individually as well. But when it comes to collectively, do we want more of the chaos that we've been going through? The global poverty? And here's the thing. Crypto don't care. Crypto does not care where you're from. It don't care what color you are. Don't care what race you are, what ethnicity, what your customs are. Guess what? It's global. It can end global austerity because it's accepted everywhere. So if somebody over in this country over there is having dirty water, they're having festus and pestilence, they can't have clean water, they don't have clean food, they don't have sanitary things to clean with, to clean themselves, to take care of themselves, to take care of their area. We can't send certain money over there to help them because they won't take it. But guess what? Decentralized crypto can always go over there. They can get the things they need. They can be in a better position if that's what we all pull together. We now have a way to do that, potentially, if we want to. If we want to. And yes, there could be some things that could happen. But hey, just because a bird might fly overhead and let one go on you doesn't mean you stop going outside. Okay, it could happen, but we'll deal with it. We're not going to fall apart. Hey, we drive it, you get a flat tire, we don't fall apart. What do? We change it. We get out, we put a spare donut on there. We go, we get the one patched up, put a plug put in it or a patch on it, or whatever. And then we keep it moving. This ain't nothing new. But this is all information. This is information just to let you know this is here. It ain't coming. It's here. We got to get it in gear because we got to deal with this. But the thing is, what side of it do you want to deal with? That's the choice that you make. And when you make the choice, now you hold the line. So that the ones from over here don't come creeping over here again like they did before. Hey, we could do this. No, get out of here. Nope, you from over there. Take them coins that you got up, take them back over there. No. That's okay. If we want them, we'll get them ourselves. Go. Back. No. Don't want to see you. Bye. And that's how we come up. That's how we thrive. That's how we move forward. And now we start seeing the things manifest that we've been talking about. Because now we recognize what we're dealing with. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir. Speak.
You got it.
Grand rising to everybody on your line. I'm in this room late, so I'm not going to come in here thinking it's a movie, acting like I know what's going on. I just want to make a comment. Ms. Joyce asked a real interesting question, and Evadne definitely had the solution. This is what is needed. You know, you ask a question, and the solution is there for you. Whoever has it, to put it out there. They had to get the solution to what we needed to do. My mind went back when Ms. Joyce asked that question, because I was like, we didn't have electricity before we got flying, and nothing. Those of us that's blind, the lights go off. It doesn't affect us at all. I mean, looking inside our households with our refrigerators. And they do have these generators now that works off of solar. And it can also run our refrigerators to save our foods. But what I want to say to you, Marcus, is not about your topic, about your show, brother. And what this person or that person may come up here and say. I'll say this about you. I've watched your growth ever since you started. When Adrian coming on, used to come on Adrian's show, and you spoke and you talked. And I want to say you come a long way, brother, with not being so secretive. And I know a lot of people on here don't know what I'm talking about, because a lot of people wasn't around when Adrian was here with us. He wasn't around when Adrian brought you on. But back in the day when you came on the Adrian show, when you used to talk and speak, I didn't understand what you were talking about. I can't say that today. You put it out there for us on the table, which everybody can understand, what you say. Hopefully everybody in this line, or at least 90% of the people in this line, can understand what you share, what you talk about as far as bringing information about the world, what's going on in the world. And I just want to say, keep up the good work, brother, and I rest.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Thank you, Brother Leon, and thank you for Eyes with a New Vision. Appreciate your support group in your line. And I do look forward to being there for your next cast, which is coming up, I believe, on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken.
And the invites are coming out right after the show. I already sent out some. So right after I get off this line, I will be sending out the rest of the invites to those of y'all that I usually send out to.
All right. Look forward to it. I definitely look
you
forward
to it. You can send it out to whoever you want to send it out to, Marcus, and anybody else I send it out to. But just know when you do, not coming on to old folks talking. So what happens over here will not happen over there. And I know you know that. And everybody else who comes on my line knows that too.
All right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I look forward to a good cast on your show this coming weekend. So everybody, yes, more information will be coming out, promoting, our colleagues, that have been here with us and who have, moved forward to do their thing on their platform. Well, we definitely show them some love and support as well. And thank you for coming on the line and saying those words. And, you took me back with Adrian, because, yes, she did introduce me to grown folks. And, I'm just happy here to be able to continue, what we had, move forward with it. And I'm quite sure that she would be proud, to hear, how long we've gone and how far this has come. And, the best is yet to come still. But, with her in mind, I still bring it forward, still move it forward. And basically, what we're here for is to give information. To let you know. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not trying to persuade anybody one way or another. I'm giving you information so that you can know what you're faced with, what's going on, what's in front of you. Ultimately, the choice is always going to be up to the individual. I'm not here to try to persuade you, to convince you. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to let you know that this is what it is. You got one side, you got another side. You can get more information. I can plug you into resources. Others can plug you into resources. Yes, we can. As I said earlier, if you want more information, the message that you got, reply to it. Number 2. That's all you got to do. Put a number 2 in the reply, and I'll know, and I'll plug you in. To where you can get more resources, more information, you get more explanations, even stuff broken down. But understand this. What's happening right now is going to take more responsibility on our part. We can't be comfortable. Here, I'm going to tell you right now, the truth of the matter, in America, we are too comfortable. We got convenience everywhere. And when any of that is threatened, we get upset. We get a little bit edgy, irritated, like that, who it is, how dare they do this, and blah, 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 blah. But other countries who don't have the conveniences that we have, and they have to do it every single day, when they have opportunities like this, where they can now have control and their leadership doesn't have it over them, it's separated, you know what they do? They get together in their backyards, in their homes, like we used to do when we were younger, when we had our families come over. And you know what they do? They break free from their struggle. They say, what? You mean to tell me we can control our own finances now and our grandkids can now be taken care of? You mean to tell me we don't have to be in poverty? We don't have to take what we're given and just like it because they said so? We now have a say in what is ours? We can control it again? Give me that. Give me that right now. And then guess what? They got 5 other people coming saying, hey, what's this all about? And then they're saying, okay, we're with this. Yeah, we want this. Because the thing is, people are sick and tired of boots being on their back, boots being on their face, people telling them that it's raining when it's really something else. They're tired of all that. The empty and broken promises, the guarantees that are never fulfilled, and then the excuses that come. Oh, well, this just happens. Well, I'll tell you, keep that over there. I'm looking for something, and we're looking for something that works. Now, is it going to work perfectly in the beginning? Probably not. But we got to fine-tune things just like a Chevy Chevelle. SS model. Love those cars. Love them. Those old muscle cars. You can fine-tune those things to outperform anything out here today. Love them. But it takes work. That means that we got to put ourselves into what we have and not trust it to somebody else to do it for us. That's what this is all about. All of this comfort and stuff that we got, yeah, we comfortable. We can go right to the fridge. We can go to the cabinets. We got our stuff here. Most of us don't have potatoes growing in pots or scallions or, peppers or onions or sweet potatoes growing in pots in our home or on our balconies or in our backyards or whatever. We don't have that. So what if now the supply chain is interrupted again for whatever reason, and we run into the market, and they don't have stuff. They didn't get replenished. Oh, we've been waiting for how long now? 7 days? Start to panic, get scared, because we're depending on centralized systems to meet our needs, and ultimately those things can fail. Why? Because they're not maintained by us. We don't have a hand in it. What do we have our hand in? What we put our hands to is what we have a hand in. We got to be responsible. And we got to get off of this kick of being comfortable. Our comfort has put us into a mindset of expectancy. Oh, I expect my lights to go on when I flip the switch. I expect clean water to come out of my faucet when I turn it on. But what if that wasn't the case? We'd have a problem, right? Well, here it is, people. It's here. Our first milestone is here. And I'm going to tell you, we could either sit up here and psych ourselves out if we want to, that's our choice, or we could find out what this is all about and grow it and come up. And then in a year, 2 years, 3 years, which is a short time, look at where we would be versus where we came from. But we got to be the ones to do it. It ain't going to wait for us. And here's the other thing. Waiting for the last minute for everything to hit the fan, that's not a good idea either. And I know most of us on this line remember when that tsunami wave, I think it hit over in India years ago. I think that was about a decade ago. And people were standing there because the water had receded all the way out. And they're just standing there like, looking like, wow, look at this. And those elephants came and grabbed those people with their trunks and put those people up on their backs and then started running for higher ground because they had better sense to know, you got to get up out of here. What's coming ain't nothing nice. Because they was at the last minute. And even the animals knew better. Hey, we got to get you out of here. Right now, the opportunity is here. The door is open. The information is out here. We bringing it to you. We letting you know it's your choice. It's your choice. You want to break free from your struggle? Number 2 in your text message and reply. You don't want to break free from the struggle? That's fine. But the choice is yours. It's always been yours. I'll tell you what. I'm breaking free. And that's just me. Because I'm thinking about more than just me. Because I'm thinking about you and you and you and you. Because I've heard you and you and you and you say certain things that if it was happening to me, I wouldn't like it either. But what can we do about it? At that time, nothing.
I broke free. I broke free. I'm breaking free, and I broke free.
I'm ready to join the church in what you have said, Rev. I am ready to join the church, Rev.
Can I say something about 1933?
Ooh, the New Deal.
You know, prior to 1933, the people owned gold, and they were able to trade with their gold and their silver. And then the government came in and made it illegal to hoard gold, and so sent out idiots who stole the gold from the people and put us on the FRNs. Okay? Somehow I see the same thing going on now. This digitized currency, they have, I mean, Bitcoin's been going on now, what, for about 6, 7, 8 years? They have finally found 15? Okay. All right. So it's taken these devils that long to gain control of it, and they have people pushing it because they want us off the FRNs that they put us on back in 33. That's how my little mind is thinking. I mean, and I'm probably wrong. But I don't mean to be disruptive. I just want people to think about it all. What is really happening here? And with that, I yield.
Let's try to extend your mind just a little bit. As you said, you keep saying, you out of your own words, I believe you said, the way your little mind is thinking, right? I don't want to say nothing that you didn't say. I believe that's what you said. So what I want to say is, to everybody on the line, you have to pay attention because, they start, money hasn't been backed by gold since the 70s. 71, I believe, 72, maybe.
That's right.
I want to say that you got to pay attention because guess what? You can't even get pennies now. When you go to the store, they're not giving you no pennies back. What you think they're trying to do with the rest of the currency? Come on, people. If you want to still continue to be EOOR underneath them, you do so. Because what we're talking about breaking free is bigger than Bitcoins. And so if you don't keep up, you're left behind. And that's what everything that the United States of America does. And so when you find a way, I understand because I remember way back when we had Amway, that was the biggest, we felt like the biggest pyramid thing or whatever they wanted to call it. But anybody that has a job that's working, you have an employer. He hires you. Ain't that a pyramid? Ain't that person on top underneath of them because you work for them? Come on, people. Start using your minds and wake up. And so when we start talking this way and speaking this way, we have to try to keep up with what's going on because if not, we are going to get left behind. And we started all this. That was a very interesting conversation about electricity. But You know, I remember we didn't have electricity. We still got along. We still made out perfectly fine. So we have to break free. Like Marcus said, everybody's choices. Everybody have a choice to make. And so just extend your mind just a little bit larger than what you're thinking about. You can't knock something until you experience it. I broke free right from the door. You know, I stopped being just a little bit more poor than I was before I broke free. So all I'm saying is that they're constantly getting rid of stuff. They're constantly getting rid of Medicaid. We have to pay attention. What they've been trying to do and what they are doing and what they are doing. And so it is happening. It's not that they're trying to do it, but they are doing it. We've been doing it. But we have to try to stay focused because they are going to get rid of this money. This currency, they are going to get, they're not even making no more. They ain't made money in the last 5 years. So, you know, we have to just try to keep up, people. You should want for your neighbor as you want for yourself. And that's all breaking free is. And I'll rest.
Hey, Eva. What I like when affinity, yes, what I like when affinity come on. Go ahead, Miss. You got the last. Sure, I like when affinity come on this line and educate people when they speak about other things, and it just don't. It's not the fact that it don't make sense, but when we come up on here, it's being explained, but they still talking about other things. Well, when you break it down to them, it makes sense, Affinity. So keep on talking to them, keep on educating them, and that's all I have to say.
It's not just me up here. Everybody up there has a piece of the puzzle. You got a lot of people up here. Brother Ed's up here. Even Marcus up here. I know Joyce is up there. I heard her voice. I don't know who else up there. I didn't hear anybody else's voice. But you got a lot of people that's up there that brings a lot of wisdom and knowledge and understanding. And some of you people who just hear my voice come up here, I helped start Grown Folks Talk and Express Yourself. I was one of the original people, and I was the second vice president of here. And when I come up here and I see the things that's going on up here, that takes place with people being disruptive, coming on, and you know you're supposed to just mute yourself if you ain't. You can't come on with your TV playing in the background. You shouldn't come on with you talking to people in the background. And I know sometimes if you come up, you may think you're on mute, and you're not. But check yourself from the door. It doesn't take much to come on and just check yourself right from the door. And so, you know, when I come up here and I see the things that's going on, how show starts at 7:30 or 8:30, and somebody's throwing a line at 29 after. You know, that's not how grown folks start off. That's not what we did. And so what I'm saying is, you know, when I hear people come up, when you hear somebody like Marcus that's coming and he's bringing wisdom and knowledge. And listen here, people, I don't want y'all to misinterpret anything that I'm saying because I bump heads with everybody just about up here. It doesn't make no difference to me. It's what we should be on one page. It should be common courtesy and respect at the top of the list. When I hear Marcus, it bothers me, Marcus. I'm sorry, coming to speak on your line. You come up and you got this brother speaking and talking, and you got somebody that's going to come up and start playing music. The only person that could have done that was a host because his music, this room was muted. So if the room was muted, nobody else could do that but a host. So it's heartbreaking when you have that. So all I'm saying is that we just have to stick together a little bit more in our rest.
Yes.
And with that, I'm going to. Oh yeah, I was gonna actually turn it over to you because we're into your time now.
Oh, okay.
So if you'll allow
me to hang up.
Yeah.
Marcus and Brother Ed. Mic check.
Mic check.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Real quick, I want to say this. But first of all, Marcus, thank you for the crypto talk, brother. And also, I'd just like to let everybody know, in case you are bewildered by what Brother Marcus said, and I know it took me a while when I was talking to Sister Asada, all right? Remember, when she left, for the people that were listening on my show when I brought her in, she said that she would give a classroom in the air. So I had I have to have a conversation with her now that the event is over for the health forum. And we will, for people that are bewildered, and Marcus, thank you for this, because we need to be educated with this, because there's a lot of things I was scratching my head on. We'll bring her back for a classroom on the Grown Folks Talking network, and we give you guys enough advance notice so that you can come in with pen and pads, like what we say on everybody's show, Ed, Marcus. And thank you for that, Brother Leon. Appreciate what you said, brother, because that's needed up here, because we try to tell people all the time, so that's coming from Brother Leon. But I'll turn it back over to you, Marcus. I just wanted to say that, and thank you once again for this crypto, because like they said, that's the wave of the future. Thank you, family.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Brother Ed, did you want to say something before I turn it over to you?
Yeah. There's, I don't know how many. Sister Sada is definitely a wise one. The sister that Forrest is talking about, she's a wealth of information. Okay. And that book, Breaking Free, has all the answers to bring you up to speed. See, we think and speculate and feel different ways about different things, especially when it's brand new. We've been fed fear and confusion since we've been. They come out with new cars, new sandwiches, all kind of stuff. And it's more easier for us to accept food because we understand the seasonings and things of that nature. But to have a currency that is basically by law invisible, it goes right back to the same thing, public and private, because it's going to happen. I mean, how many grocery stores you go in that they got computerized checkout?
Mm-hmm.
How many places have you been where they have automated machines cutting grass? 65% of customer service in China, hotels, restaurants, so many places, they're already implementing AI over there, which is exactly why they tested that mankind created virus over there. And unfortunately, those individuals are willing to do those things to their own people. But the fact remains, as far as this currency is concerned, it's definitely the wave of today. There's a lot of people that became rich, maybe not wealthy, off of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is a public traded coin. Am I right, Marcus?
Yep.
A lot of people put it out. Time for me to hang up too.
Okay, good night.
Have a good show, Marcus. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Brother Ed, I just want to thank you for saying what you just said just now. Breaking Free, ladies and gentlemen, is just a little bit different and bigger than Bitcoin. But one of the things that I got off saying, and I wanted to thank you because you brought it back to me, whilst I was talking about Amway and how everybody thought about Amway. But then you had Bill Gates come along right after Amway. I don't know if anybody remembers this. Bill Gates said, if you give me $1, I'll make you a millionaire. If you give me $2, I'll make you $2 million. None of us went for that. And look, he monopolized Windows. A lot of other things. And he did. People who did give him the $1, he did keep his word. Regardless to what he is and what he isn't. I know how bad he is, but he did keep his word when it came to that. And now rest. Thank you, Brother Ed, for bringing that back to me.
I want to thank everybody for coming on with us tonight for Xtra-Hype Connection podcast and letting us bring this information to you. and also letting you know that, hey, the choice is always yours. It's your choice. Not here to convince, not here to try to steer you in one direction or another, but to put out the information and let you either deal with it or not. That's your choice too. But we want to thank you, and we are into Brother Ed. God will be done. I also want to let you all know that in the morning tomorrow, starting at 7 a.m., we have the prayer call with Miss Carolyn Lucille. At 12 noon, I believe we will have Actualizer with Your Highness, if it is her Saturday. But definitely the first and third Saturday of the month, she does come on, Actualizer, 12 noon on Saturdays with Your Highness. At 4 p.m., we're going to have Just Joyce and all of her friends and her eclectic topics and conversations, things that are kind of out of too. Yeah, she has an open forum for you. So you can come up and start a topic, and we can go from there. So Just Joyce and her friends at 4 p.m. We got our brother, CEO Forrest, next, coming on tomorrow at 6 p.m. with his special guest. And then tomorrow at 8 p.m., I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we shall be treated to the sounds of L from Long Island. So that will be our light-up for tomorrow, everybody. And with that, I'm going to give it over to Flofokuz so he can give you the last word, and we can transition into Thine Will Be Done.
Night. Hey, so.
Stick around. Brother Ed is here. Brother Ed, turn it over to you.
That's brother showing up. That's showing up. I got to make a name for him. That's Reverend showing up focus right there, because he just dropped the commandments. He just dropped the new Genesis and the old Genesis right there, because it is that we see certain people on a continual basis. We have the privilege of making eye contact with them, and even if we don't say anything, they know and feel who we are. So when they find something that's good, find something that's coming, it's only right to share the information. This currency, again, I think last week or the week before, I spoke to that movie, Swordfish, with John Travolta, Halle Berry, and Wolverine. They were using digital currency in that movie. Hello? Somebody's not on mute. But yeah, it's not a new thing, and no, I'm not trying to sell you a pair of shoes. I'm just emphasizing on we should all do ourselves a good service to do a little bit of research on what's coming down the pipe with or without you. Let's not forget, I don't know if y'all know it or not, I think 50 Cent bought like 50 grand in Bitcoin. And I think the price of Bitcoin at that time quadrupled, or I think it at least quadrupled. And he got like $10 million. But overall, the beautiful thing about the way some of these systems are rocking, I apologize for my street vernacular. The way a lot of these opportunities are working. Somebody hears the presentation. You get a free book. And anybody that sees the value and participates in this particular genre, you get a percentage. There's people who are buying cars, paying their bills, and they still have invisible money at the same time. When you put your money in a bank, nobody reads that contract. You're surrendering your money to the bank, whatever they choose to do with it. Going back to what Joffrey said, 1933, the banks told the government that they're broke. The banks weren't creating the money. The banks were a holding house. An individual had a farm or a gold mine. He'd bring a bag of gold, or he'd put up equity of some of the property and assets that he has in that bank when he comes to town. The bank would give him a checkbook and tell him what's the max of at least to the value of whatever products they came to put up as